Now that we have figured out our income types, whether it's a passive income or an active income, it is time to figure out where our money is going to. Have you ever sat down and wonder the money I just got yesterday, or let's say last week, has come, and today I don't have money, whether I came in from a business, whether I came in from a salary, or you came in from your parents or whatsoever. Lo and behold, I have been in that situation. I remember if I went into school, my mom sat me down and really taught me how to budget. And she also taught me how I could cut expenses from my budgeting, meaning instead of using a bike to go to school or a shuttle bus to go to school, I can walk to class instead just to save up that money. And that made sense. I did that a lot of times to my knee. But there was a time that my hostel was really far from school. It got to a time where it was like the money was not even enough. And as at then, it was what, 40K a month that I was being given. And yes, I was still saving out of that 40K, don't get me wrong. But it was not like, it's not enough because I'm trying to save. And I'm also trying to be prudent enough to be in class and all of that. How am I supposed to be doing all of this at the same time? I'm like, no, mommy, we have to increase my salary. I'm that says, come on, please shut up your mouth. In my time, do you know, if you talk again, I'll reduce it to 25K. And I'm like, you know what? I just kept quiet. That situation forced me by force. I learned budgeting on a small amount of money. That's why even in these days when people tell me, oh, by end less than 90K, I don't end up to 100K. I look at and I'm like, I wasn't being given up to 100K. In fact, I budgeted on top of that 40K, and I still had to learn to put myself out there with the skills I had so that I could make some extra money on top of that 40K, but I was still saving that 40K. Now, I would also make some money on top of that 40K and also call them if need be for anything that was serious. And I know that they cannot say no for it. Does that make sense? That was how I was able to do that. And that is how I believe you should be able to budget. That is so fast for this video. I'll see you in the next video where we will talk about the budgeting rule that I use or that I have used since then till now to be able to save and live off of those savings for the next 2 years after I graduated from school. See you in the next video.